times is to go play. You can play a program like an LSU. You're already in conference. I truly believe you got to cross over every once in a while. Obviously, is it more of a risk for a head coach win-loss wise? Yes, because they've got really good players, they've got really good staff, they have great tradition. But on the other side of it is, if you play well or you win, it also puts you in a situation that it jumps you in the national spotlight. But the only thing I would back up from Commissioner Bowlesby, because I think you have to play the best. But winning's still the best answer for success. And for us in the conference, so I think you have to have, and you have to have a great plan. And a great plan is a great schedule. So for a coach, I think you can't put yourself in a situation, you play a great conference, non-conference schedule, but then you're beat up and you lose so many players that you can't play in conference. Because the first goal is to win a conference title. But I think for us to elevate ourselves, we have to be able to prove that we can play against people outside the conference. And as a general, that's one of the reasons we got into the conference, to be able to do that. As a general, I think this conference has done that.
Okay, question on the left side. Anything else for Coach? Chuck.
Chuck Carlton, Dallas Morning News. Gary, obviously you've had some, very great defenses, multiple great defenses over the years. You look at the returnings you have and the progress made last year. What's the potential for this group?
Well, you have to, lose to Stanley Palmy, went out early in the draft. Kenny Kane, with everybody come back. You have to be able to rush the passer in this league. And even though everybody throws the ball, you have to be able to stop the run. There's not any doubt about how you do that. Whether it's by when you catch it, you don't let them run with it, or when they're handing it off. You've got to get it to where you have an advantage as far as it's passing down. You can't be an even down all the time. And you got to minimize the big plays. You can't allow the score within a minute and a half. It's really hard to win ball games if you allow people to do that. So, I said a year ago, you got to learn how to make people kick field goals. We did that to an extent. I still think that you got to learn. So it's one thing about playing in the middle of the field, then it's another thing to play in the red zone. And we've got to keep emphasizing that, along with everybody else. I'm sure in the league is doing that. But we're always going to have good skilled players. It's just everybody can run. Everybody gets their group of guys every year. Somebody's going to have a guy that can go beat you deep. So you always have to have one or a couple of those guys that can defend those guys. But it's a great challenge. I think whether it's your job or it's mine. You guys as writers, you find a guy that's really doing a great job of doing the story, then everybody's trying to, how does he do it? How do I become like him? We're close to being like him. I don't think we're different. Doing our job, the offense is kind of like in baseball. The hitters one year are way ahead of the pitchers, and the next year as they catch up. How do we as a defensive groups keep catching up and being able to hold our own? And because when it gets all down to it, we can score a lot of points, but for us to be a national contender on a national scene, you got to be able to play great defense in November, December, and then January ball games to win national titles. Whether it's a TC or anywhere else, you can score points, but you've got to be able to hit big ball games. You got to be able to play defense, and so all of us as a league got to learn how to keep making ourselves better to do that. And there's a couple of ways, scheme-wise, and also keep recruiting better players. The better players we have, the better we're going to be able to do that. So I don't think there's any magic formula, but you can't allow offenses to dictate. You've got to be able to practice so that you can be as multiple as what they are on offense and be able to call it just a pass, and that's one of the things that we try to work on.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much for your comments. Have a great season.
Thanks for all being here.